All right, welcome to the EJ Pro Pick'em Show. I'm your host, Dennis James. I'm here again with my co-host, Sean Harris, my producer, Lawrence Jones, and then our show contributor, Derek Arnold. This is week 7, kind of a typical week. Wasn't it, too much crazy going on as far as the picks go. But we're going to talk about some of the games. First, we got to talk about the Browns. Now, that wasn't the typical game. I know that made Sean happy, but that was one of the craziest games I've ever seen. The special teams for the Browns pretty much outplayed the whole NFL in that game.
Would have been a great day if the Steelers lost too.
Well, we'll get into that debacle, but I guess want to get you guys' thoughts about the Browns game. If anybody that saw it, I'm still amazed about the Hodges run. I gotta give credit to the Browns. I guess their special teams coach and their film coach, because they must have noticed something in the Saints punt return coverage. Notice notice how they must do something special when they go back on returns, and they noticed that and they took advantage of it. So I gotta give them credit for that. Any thoughts on the game from you?
Yeah, they got the best special teams in the NFL. They just like you said, they did some film study and caught some tendencies that that New Orleans Saints, tend to, cause some tendencies from New Orleans Saints and took advantage of them. And Reggie Hodges, that's all I got to say. He's the MVP of the game.
Yeah, then the D-line too though. Bowens tipped the pass and ran back an interception. It was funny to me that no one really went after him other than like one offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think on that second one, the Bobble one, I think everybody thought it was incomplete. I don't think nobody actually thought it was intercepted.
Yeah. And the first one, he caught it off the O-lineman's butt. It was just crazy. I'm looking, I'm like, did he really just...
That's what I was talking about,
yeah. And I mean, that was the first one. And the second one is just like, wow. Yeah. I mean, anything the Saints tried to do just got deflated by the Browns just coming through and getting those interceptions.
So the question is, where does that lead the Saints? Are they still hung over from the Super Bowl? I mean, they had a bad loss to the Browns. They had a bad loss to the Cardinals.
Well, remember that fan had a sign that said "hangover."
Yeah.
So I think it's got a lot to do with it.
If this was the hangover, the Browns and the Cardinals games would be the tiger and the bear. It's like something you see that you don't believe, but it's really there. And
Mike Tyson being in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't want Mike Tyson's tiger in my bathroom.
All right, so the other thing about this game, Colt McCoy played pretty solid. I mean, he didn't even throw for 100 yards, but he managed the game well. Didn't make any mistakes, which is, compared to the last few years, Browns quarterbacks are saying something. But the question is, during this week, Seneca Wallace, Jake Delhomme, will they be back? This is a bye week. Rumor has it that Seneca should be ready to go next week. Should they go back to Seneca Wallace, or should they keep Colt McCoy out there?
It depends. If they think they still have something to play for, I would start Seneca Wallace. He is the best quarterback. He even admitted that. I would go with Seneca Wallace if you're trying to salvage the season, with what's left of it. Well, I mean, personally, I'd rather them just start Colt McCoy, just leave him out there for the rest of the year and let him develop for the future.
All right, the other team around this area, the Steelers, they pulled out a game against them, and I mean pulled out a game against the Dolphins.
Boo.
Derek, you seem to be the aficionado with the NFL rules. Explain that one to me. How it was clearly a fumble, and they said, well, we didn't know who recovered it, so we're going to put it back on the 1 yard line. That was their explanation. Because why would the refs not find out who recovered the fumble? And not only that, but it was clearly evident that Miami recovered it.
Well, because the signaling on the field was touchdown. This was clearly, the rule says that's what you do. You presume that the offense did not lose the ball and put it.
Okay, but the guy that called it a touchdown, there's no way in the world he could have called it a touchdown. He couldn't see the ball from the guy. You see the guy that put his hands up first, the ref on this side?
That is absolutely his fault.
Yeah, how can he call that a touchdown? He's nowhere in the world he saw the ball.
It's a plain and simple mess up on that guy's part. He's straight up blew that call.
Now the other thing I don't get,
He's
two
the
of the
James
refs-
Joyce of the NFL.
2 of the refs on that staff are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 2 of the refs on that staff are from Pittsburgh. How in the world did they allow that to happen?
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, that's question.
I mean, that's about as shady as a baseball league I played in when I was younger. And come to find out, we was pitching the strike zone like 2 feet wide. We found out a week later the umpire was the pitcher's dad.
It definitely reeks of conflict of interest. And if the NFL wants to be above board, wants to be taken seriously as a management organization, they need to stop things like that. It's like, the collective bargaining agreement is up, and everybody's talking about lockout, and everybody's.
Yeah, this seems to happen almost every other week. You had that situation with Detroit, Chicago early in the year.
Right. Yeah.
But see, that actually was the rule. It's like no one likes that rule.
That's the thing. The rules they have so many rules that are stupid.
Yeah, they're bad.
I mean,
But I don't think that the NFL cares about the rules right now. It's like I think they just want to promote their image for appearance's sake because of the collective bargaining agreement coming up, because of the potential lockout, so they can make the players look as bad as possible.
okay. Well, the other thing about this game though, the Steelers did prove that they find ways to win. They do have to pay the refs, but they found a way to win the game. Down the stretch, Roethlisberger made key plays to keep them alive. I guess the bad news for him, Aaron Smith, the defensive end, is out for the season. And it definitely showed because the Dolphins are actually having success running the football on them in this game. Can the Steelers continue, to have that dominant defense without one of the key pieces?
It'll still be good. It'll still be one of the best, but it's definitely a big loss.
Who's going to step up and take his place? That's the question.
I don't know. I don't know who else they got.
Maybe
I
that,
don't know who, but Dick LeBeau will figure something out. I mean, I think the big difference is like with Paul Amalu being out. I mean, he was a multi-talented person on their defense because he played the run and the pass. With Aaron Smith, well, with most D-line cats, they don't really get too many tackles or.
His job is to
Yeah.
keep the other guys free,
Right.
all the linebackers. So he's one of one of those guys like Casey Hampton too.
Well, they got that first round pick. I think his name is Evander Hood. Or Ziggy Hood. I guess he'll probably have to step in maybe. He was a
But
first round
is
pick.
he more of a pass rusher though?
Yeah, he can play defensive end or nose tackle. He can't. I don't think pass rushing is his strength, but they really don't have. They're not really that deep at that position.
The other question that came out in this game that I want to pose to you guys is Steelers wide receiver Mike Wallace. He made another huge play in this game. He's every week now. He seems like he's starting to put up decent numbers. Should we now consider him a premier receiver in the league, top 20 maybe?
No,
Not even top 20.
not yet. Now he has. I think he needs like a year. He needs like a full year of having to catch for 1,000 yards. He hasn't caught for 1,000 yards in the season yet. So until he does that, then I consider him a premier.
I think that's just all part of what their offense is, though, and their identity. They're not really. Even though Roethlisberger, with his entrance, they've been passing a little bit more, and with his with him getting better, but it's like I guess I would fantasy wise, you might not put him in the top 20, but yeah, just in terms of quality.
Actually, fantasy wise, he is in the top 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's got a touchdown like that almost every week.
Oh, okay.
Well, he
shoot.
wouldn't be in our league, but in most leagues he would be in there.
Mike Wallace is going to be the heir to #1 spot for the Steelers if he doesn't have it already. He's going to be the Steelers' future receiver. He's
You think he can get number 1?
Yeah, because Hines Ward is 2 seconds from retirement. If they
Well,
win
I
a
don't
Super
know
Bowl
about
this
that.
year, if they win a Super Bowl this year, I can see Hines Ward going.
Well, I hope they win the Super Bowl then.
But
I thought I heard you say that.
Yeah, no.
but Hines Ward is about to hang it up. Whenever he wants to hang it up. He has nothing to prove. He's done his thing. The receiver. If I was a defensive coordinator game planning, I'd definitely be aware of Mike Wallace.
All right, we talked about Steelers enough. Let's go with another game.
I'd be aware for him for all 60 minutes.
I knew that was coming, man. I was waiting for you to do that. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Since we go to Peace Shop, we're gonna stop talking about the Steelers.
We need to cut
When
some
we
of this
when
out.
we get back, we'll talk about the other key games for Week 7.